As film lovers, we like to think our favorite Hollywood film stars as being virtually invincible. How could something bad ever happen to something like them? While it's true that generally speaking, working as a Hollywood actor or crew member is a fairly safe job, sometimes tragedy strikes when you least expect it. That's especially true for stars who insist upon doing their own stunt work. In this video, we'll be covering some of the most tragic injuries and accidents that occurred on film sets in the 1970s. Barquero, 1970. During the filming of this Western, the movie's director, Robert Spar, was tragically killed in a plane crash while scouting out film locations with a cameraman named Gerald Finnerman. Their single-engine plane went down near Brush Hollow Reservoir, right outside of Penrose, Colorado. The pilot was also killed, but the cameraman miraculously survived. One of the film's leads, Lee Van Cleef, was supposed to be on the flight as well to accompany them, but at the last minute, he decided not to join. Catch-22, 1970. While filming a bombing scene for the film, second unit director John Jordan was pulled out of a B-25 Mitchell aircraft and was killed. He wasn't wearing a safety harness while the plane was in the air. If he had, he would likely have survived. Golden Eagle, 1970. Thai actor Mitter Chalbancha was killed while portraying his signature action hero character, In Si Dang, the masked crime fighter. Mitter was supposed to grab hold of a rope ladder dangling from a helicopter. Sadly, he wasn't able to secure his grip, but the pilot didn't realize this and took off. Mitter lost his grip and plummeted to the ground. Disturbingly, the incident was captured on camera and featured in the final cut of the film. The accident, however, was later omitted from the film's DVD release. Tora, 1970. While rehearsing aerial scenes prior to filming in Oahu, Hawaii, a BT-13 airplane that was altered to resemble a Japanese Val dive bomber went down in a sugarcane field near Ewa. The pilot, Guy Thomas Strong, was killed. Zeppelin, 1970. While filming aerial shots over the Irish Sea, two aircraft, including a helicopter camera ship, collided mid-flight. 4 crewmen were killed in the collision. Assistant Director Birch Williams, cameraman Skeets Kelly, pilot Jim Liddy, and co-pilot Gilbert Chomot. A Clockwork Orange, 1971. If you've ever seen this controversial yet critically acclaimed Stanley Kubrick film, you're probably pretty familiar with the notorious MK Ultra-esque brainwashing scene. During filming, actor Malcolm McDowell's cornea was scratched while his eyes were propped open for a fairly long duration. He suffered temporary blindness from the incident. Later, McDowell sustained a broken rib during a scene when another actor taunted and attacked him to demonstrate his rehabilitation. Kamen Rider, 1971. While filming a scene for the episode entitled The Terrifying Cobra Man, the film's lead Hiroshi Fujioka broke his thigh bone in a motorcycle stunt accident when he drove straight into a telephone pole at nearly 50 miles an hour. For the next 4 episodes, in Fujioka's absence, stock footage was used, and another actor was called in to dub over his lines. The ratings took a hit as the audience clearly could tell something had changed. The series producers eventually felt as if they had no other choice but to replace him with a character played by Takeshi Sasaki. Fujioka later returned to the show in episode 53, but by that point neither actor could be canned, so the series ended up having 2 leads. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. And stick around for a lot more dangerous 70s movies. Von Richthofen and Brown, 1971. After the plane he was flying in crashed at Weston Airport near Dublin, Ireland, stunt pilot Charles Boddington was killed. The next day, another airplane crashed, but fortunately no one was killed. The plane's pilot, Lynn Garrison, and actor Don Stroud were, however, injured. Matlock Police, 1971. After losing control of his vehicle while attempting to round a gravel bend filming a chase scene, a cameraman struck a crew member and they were unfortunately killed. Deliverance, 1972. While filming a scene involving a canoe, actor Burt Reynolds injured his coccyx. He went on to make a speedy recovery and finished filming the movie with little delay. The Godfather, 1972. During the shooting of a fight scene where James Caan threw Gianna Russo over a fence, Russo slammed into a metal garbage can and broke 2 ribs. He also shattered his elbow. The Last Lion, 1972. Working with wild animals always comes at a bit of a risk. During production of this South African action film, sound tech James Chapman learned the hard way when he was mauled to death by a lion. Napoleon and Samantha, 1972. Apparently, no one learned lessons from the accident that happened earlier that year on the set of The Last Lion, because during the filming of this adventure film, actress Jodie Foster was also mauled by a lion. But she survived, even though it understandably left her with quite a bit of trauma. Enter the Dragon, 1973. While filming a fight scene for this iconic martial arts film, actor Robert Wall accidentally cut Bruce Lee's arm with a broken glass bottle. After healing, Lee intentionally kicked Wall for real during the reshoot. He kicked him with such intensity that an extra fractured his arm while attempting to catch Wall. The Exorcist, 1973. During the filming of the scene where actress Linda Blair's character, Reagan McNeil, levitates and thrashes about violently, some kind of mechanical failure caused her to fracture her spine. The injury later caused Blair to develop scoliosis after she re-injured her spine during the shooting of a motorcycle scene for another film. Another serious injury occurred on the set of The Exorcist when actress Ellen Burstyn fell backwards after her possessed daughter struck her. The scene ended up in the final theatrical cut. Primal Man, 1974. 36 people, including actor Janos Prohaska and his son, were killed in an airplane crash while filming this now obscure television series. The Eiger Sanction, 1975. While filming this action thriller, a 27-year-old English climber named David Knowles was killed during a rock slide incident. Mike Hoover, a mountaineer, was almost killed as well, but fortunately he survived. The Great Waldo Pepper, 1975. Stunt pilot Frank Tallman was seriously injured when the Newport biplane he was flying crashed while filming an aerial scene for this drama. He survived the accident but suffered 2 cracked vertebrae, needed 58 stitches, and had to take off a couple weeks to recover. Carrie, 1976. Actress P.J. Soles, who portrayed Norma in this groundbreaking supernatural horror film based on the 1974 Stephen King novel, ruptured her eardrum after pressurized water from a hose struck her in the ear during the shooting of the film's famous prom scene. No Deposit, No Return, 1976. The president of the Stuntmen Association, Dale Van Sickle, suffered severe brain damage and spent the remainder of his life as an invalid after his car went out of control and struck an abutment after hitting an inappropriately applied oil slick filming this Disney crime comedy film. His family successfully sued the production studio after the incident. The Omen. Gregory Peck crushed the hand of fellow actor Guglielmo Spolettini when he slammed a car door. Spolettini's finger was almost amputated from the accident. A Bridge Too Far, 1977. A stuntman named Alf Joint was severely injured while attempting a stunt that involved him jumping off a roof. The spooky thing is he later said he felt as if he'd been pushed. Also during production, special effects director John Richardson and his assistant Liz Moore got into an automobile accident that killed Moore. High Riders. Stuntman Vic Rivers drowned to death after his car went off a ramp into a pond on the Paramount Ranch. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, 1978. Actors Jack Riley and George Wilson sustained minor injuries when the Hiller helicopter they were in crashed while filming an aerial scene. The shot of their crash ended up making it into the film's theatrical release. Grease, 1978. While filming the prom scene in a room without windows that reportedly reached temperatures up to 116 degrees, actor Michael Tucci experienced heat stroke. Later on during the film's production, while shooting the Grease lightning sequence, Jeff Conaway fell and injured his back. Apocalypse Now, 1979. Martin Sheen slashed his hand breaking a mirror while filming the movie's opening scene. He was reportedly too drunk to realize his hand was gushing blood. Later on, he suffered a heart attack, but returned to set 6 weeks later after taking some time off. Charlie's Angels, 1979. Stuntwoman Jeannie Coulter and Julie Ann Johnson suffered serious injuries while filming on location near an airfield near Magic Mountain, when a stuntman, high on cocaine, drove a vehicle the 2 women were supposed to jump out of faster than he was supposed to. Now it's time to hear from you. Which one of these episodes was the most shocking to hear about? Let us know in the comment section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to FactsVerse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.